Everyone, we are live with another week 4 game. We have Shane versus DarthNazrael, and Shane is playing the Guardians of the Galaxy with Cosmic Ghost Rider and regular Ghost Rider. And we've got, let's see here, we have DarthNazrael is playing, what do we have? We have Shield with Voodoo and Crimson Dynamo. This looks like it's going to be a war of attrition here. My co-commentator today is Simon, aka Vodka Blitz. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. What about you?
Well, this is my second game streaming, so I am. Hopefully, my brain isn't fried from the first one, but I'm doing pretty good actually. I've had the last couple days. I've played 5 games of MCP, and I have won all of them. So I
Very
actually I'm feeling pretty high on myself right now.
nice. No doubt, it was a pretty productive weekend. So far, looking at both players' rosters, I don't see like anything out of the ordinary or something too spicy. They both seem like very well um well ran affiliations. No surprises picked. I do like the double Ghost Rider list a lot for Guardians. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's any surprises from either side, at least from what I'm seeing so far.
I mean they're a pretty standard list here. Let's see here. It looks like my chat from the last stream is up on my broadcast. It looks like so. That's pretty funny. I'm still new to this, so I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know if I haven't checked my actual Twitch channel to see if that's the case, but here we go. We've got 19 threats. Shane wins priority. We have Researcher and Demons. Okay, so I think both players
All
are
right.
happy with this. I would have to say probably, like just at first thoughts. So I think everyone is going to get all the tools they need to get the win, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think if I had to make um, guesses as to what either player is going to bring, I think this central brawl is very conductive to a double Ghost Rider list. Um, Probably featuring Bill, Star Lord, or like some combination of these characters. And for Shield, I think going as wide as possible to maximize their firepower is probably the way they're gonna go. But
Yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting game.
yeah. I mean, like I think that we're gonna see Crimson Dynamo. I mean, like that's like probably the most sure I've been in my life of seeing the model come to the board here.
Yeah,
This is this is just like exactly what both I don't know what to say. Like both players are gonna be happy about this one. I think. Um, It'll be interesting because Eye in the Sky has that short. You can like move your character short, right? But Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider, has a range 4 gun on him. So it's like you really, I don't know if you can escape with Eye in the Sky. Uh, in very many situations, especially when you're playing down the middle like this. There's no way to hide. The secure is worth the demons downtown is already a low scoring secure. So the fact that it's worth more points than the extract is pretty crazy. We're gonna see a 6 round game. I'm almost positive, unless I mean, of course, we have a tabling or something.
yeah. I'd expect if Shane goes for the double Ghost Rider list, to have Ghost Rider, classic Ghost Riders, Wicked Judgment be really relevant in this game. And Dynamo for Shield is bound to put a lot of work in.
I actually haven't seen a double Ghost Rider like game before. So I wonder what Shane's experience is into this. Let's see here. Some fun facts about Josh. He wrote to me and said a couple things he'd like to share. I guess I'll share them after we go through the rosters here. But okay. So anyway, Shane has deployed. We're seeing a class or more classical Guardians list, wider with Ghost Rider, the not the new one, the Jonathan Blaze version. That's really interesting. You'd expect to see Cosmic Ghost Rider nowadays. And then we have Shield with Bullseye and Crimson Dynamo as the splashes. I mean, seems like the way to go right now. This is like the pretty much optimal shield list building situation here for Josh. So, what are your thoughts on not seeing Cosmic Ghost Rider?
I think it's interesting. There for sure was a good incentive to go wider. Um, but I'm a little surprised to not see Cosmic Ghost Rider. I see he's pretty tanky, and the got your back when your other models get dazed is really relevant in this type of brawly scenario. Like the more attack you're gonna get, the higher your chances of spiking. And I think it. We'll see how the game goes, but I think I would have liked to see CGR here.
Yeah, it's interesting that um, do we have a dead card with Brace for Impact? I don't think we have any throws on the Shield team.
Let's see. I agree. I think it is a dead
And I think
card.
that Brace for Impact typically is um, it's just not a very useful card against Shield. Shield typically doesn't have any throws unless they're splashing for them. Or like you're playing models that are not seen as commonly as the ones that Josh has put on the table here. So already Shane is already down. He's already losing that.
Yeah, and I honestly think I would tend to put Recal in the same box, especially against Shield. If they're not bringing big models, like the biggest attack you're going to be able to Recal is probably going to be Helios. Otherwise, it's a bunch of 4 and 5 dice attack, which are like not too impressive. So I expect Recal to either be used offensively for a big whiff, um, or to not be super relevant.
Yeah. See, we just saw a small little mess up. I don't think it'll impact the game too much, but basically because all the characters are going to be centrally deployed, there's really no reason not to. He put Shane put Beta Ray build just slightly closer to the middle where Ghost Rider couldn't be positioned, and Ghost Rider, I believe he has the highest threat range of maybe Beta Ray Bill has a high threat range, the higher threat range, but either way, Ghost Rider off to the side is like just the smallest positioning mistake with Bill put Ghost Rider just like slightly further away from the middle that he wanted to be in, and I don't know, just like little things like that are not
Yeah.
typically a big deal. But if you did this, like let's say you make a couple of them every round, that could end up costing you a game. Look at look at Josh's deployment. They're literally all base to base right down the middle, and you got your main tank dead center. I think that's like the way to go, probably.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think like these little mistakes tend to have a very compounding effect. And I think in the end, the player who makes the least of them is the more likely to win, right? Uh, Bearing outside factors.
Yeah, or like major like blunders or something like that. Of course, like the major blunders are almost always a they're worth way more than a couple of small little positional mistakes typically, right? They're like game altering decisions. But yeah, so Bullseye is looks like Bullseye's activated first, going to get cover from Gronko's little convenience store here and being on the back point. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. There's nothing. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be anything crazy here. I think we're gonna see something crazy if someone we start seeing bodies on the middle. It's worth three victory points. The middle is compared to the right now because of the researcher.
Yeah.
And I think Shane's making a good call here, going a little further up to try to cover the middle with Starlord, just so he gets 2 attack actions next turn. I mean, like that's you got to be thinking about these things on round one, especially early on, because Starlord, like he has hit and run, so he needs to optimize his activation. You need to be within range of an opposing character when you start your activation. It's just something to consider.
Yeah, I agree. I think I expect both players to play pretty cagey, at least for round one. With I think the player whose activation goes last trying to steal the middle to force the his opponent into a bear trap, so to speak.
Yeah, that for sure. The grunts that Nick Fury brings out do contest the researcher, but they don't contest the demon portal. That may be a factor that I think that factor might help Josh in this game. He might be able to just like throw his ninjas down or like double walk Nick Fury and ninjas at like a later activation and like capture the VPs. I think there's going to be a pretty significant advantage to whoever can win the middle and bring the researcher back if one of them can, just because they both have gunline factions and they really want to minimize the amount of move actions they're taking. And bringing the researcher to their side of the board is probably the way to be able to get that.
I'd be inclined to agree. Here, I don't think I'm a fan of putting Groot up front so quickly in round one. I think that exposes him to a lot of firepower coming from DarthNazrael, and I think he, with the commandos, is gonna leverage that exposition.
Yeah, what do you think about Gamora instead of something like Rocket Nebula? I don't remember if he had Nebula in his list, but I think that he
I think
going with
he
Gamora
has.
here is tricky.
I think I really like the Gamora pick, considering no CGR, just because she has stealth and it limits the gun line aspect of shield a lot, and she can in turn be pretty devastating going into them, especially with her leap, her pretty strong attack. Like she can close the gap, leap, attack, then move back and like weave back and forth through the action pretty effectively.
All right, so we have our first mandatory trigger that we're about to miss potentially with Ghost Rider having. I'm gonna mention this in the chat.
Um, I think here they missed. Yeah, exactly. I was about to call it out.
Okay,
Um,
they got it.
yeah,
So yeah, we'll use the chat, and if we notice that we'll talk about if you need to jump in at all, and then but we'll try to use the chat if we can. I mean, you could type in the chat too if you think we'll figure it out.
here I think once again I would have liked to see Ghost Rider wait a little, just because while Groot's up and able to be attacked, Ghost Rider could have used like another attack to fuel up for Hell on Wheels to just get to the middle and start going to town.
Yeah, I think that exactly. Ghost Rider he wants to activate later in the round unless he's like maxed power up and ready and is ready to do his spender. He's like if you're ready to do your spender with Ghost Rider, it's like that you pull the trigger basically because it's you're expecting it to completely incapacitate a character. All right, we've got lots of shooting on the shield team. So let's see if Groot can take this hit. He's incinerated, so he's rolling less dice.
New Bucky showing a very strong start
Oh
so
yeah.
far. Um,
Wow.
Yikes. Dealing 3, getting the rapid fire and the bleed already. Just going pretty well.
Yeah, those effects that do two things on a wild are it just makes you feel so good when you hit them, right? With the pierce bleed or now with Bucky rapid fire bleed and there's a few more, but Cyclops is the one I'm thinking of. With you get the hit wild, and you get to push, and you get another attack. It's cool.
Here showing 3, leaving Groot on 1 on a classic MCP special.
Yeah, this is I think Groot's regretting his decision probably. I mean Groot could play We Are Groot right now, but that's kind of a bummer, right? To have to have played that card so early, and that even then, like I don't know if he would survive. I think you're definitely right that the decision to put him up there so early, I mean, got him. That's like how many shots has he taken now? He's taken 3 attacks on
Yeah.
round one.
And probably some more with when Nick Fury goes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And yeah. And I think also giving the opportunity for Nick Fury to generate power, to have eye in the sky up um, from the start of round 2 is going to make things for Shane a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I think that's so I think Shane is basically gambling on winning the first point. It really seems
Yeah,
like that's what is clear here is that he's willing to lose flip Groot um or like risk that happening, which is looking very likely, to pull the researcher back into his team, causing the Shield team to have to push forward. But the problem that I'm seeing is that even if he does win this and Groot stays alive, I'm just seeing that we have the Howling Commandos can just whip the Crimson Dynamo right up the board. Crimson Dynamo obviously can use his propulsion to get himself forward. So we're not going to see a lot of we're not going to see too much inefficiency in movement on the Shield team. Especially Commandos can also put up. I guess they don't have tons of power generation, but with I'm trying to think of like what they could do. Really, they're just looking at putting Crimson Dynamo up the board earlier, right? Probably.
I think that's probably the right call. Here we see Nick Fury going, so the Grunt's going first, trying to get that daze into Groot.
Now I don't know if he's within 3 of Fury, so I don't know. Do you still get the
What's
power generation on Fury if you're outside of 3?
that is a good question.
I think they're separate effects. I think you would.
Yeah, the character gains one power when the ally deals or suffers damage to
Yeah.
the
Okay.
ally.
So that doesn't matter. He just doesn't get the reroll, but let's
Yeah,
see if he needs it. Oh, and he would have. Oh no, he could have the skull, so never mind. So yeah. Uh, let's see what Fury does. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Fury's probably going to move up and do a Fury special, which will get him
yeah,
the 3 power round 2 anyway.
yep.
I think the challenge might be getting him, not putting him on the demon portal. I don't know if that's possible. Looks like there's room, but um, yeah, this is the clear play forward. You put a model against Shield on the mid board. I
Yeah,
don't. There we
you
go.
like to live dangerously.
Yeah, you're just you're living dangerously for sure. Yeah. So we're seeing it here with a tough model in Groot, or I mean like he has the healing, but he doesn't have it this round because he already activated.
I think something that could have
Oh,
been
do we have a
interesting.
sacrifice? We do have a sacrifice into Bill. That's he can't dice, but he okay. So no crits for Bill, or no adding crits.
So we get Bill shooting him.
Oh,
Yikes! This is going to hurt. 5 successes into one. Bill would take 3.
yeah. Bill's gonna block 1, take 3.
Yeah, I think that's something you don't want to see. Like your big tanky characters with Bruce Groot and
Yeah.
Bill take so much damage so early.
So we're for sure gonna see a We Are Groot. I mean, like there's no doubt in my mind at this point. You play We Are Groot here.
Yeah, I would agree. Uh,
Okay. I'm okay. See, I've got the comments up. Vodka Blitz, if you could check my stream and you could see the comments at the same time.
yeah,
But
I've
your
got it.
volume is a little low. I have you maxed out
Okay,
on Discord, so if you could
I'll
bring the
try to
mic
boost
closer to
my
your
input.
mouth, or I don't know how to fix
Yeah.
that. Shadow
Okay.
Marvel says no. I don't know what he is referring to.
I think one of my locals saying hi in French is probably. Oh,
About power gain on grunts. He's saying no, he wouldn't get the power on the grunts. They need to be within 3. Okay, there we go. We've
oh,
got a more senior
there you
accuser
go.
in the chat. So there we go. That's I'm glad we've
Thank you
got.
for
I
the
think
correction.
4 accusers are either in the game or watching the game or commentating on the game. And all right,
It's
uh,
going to be a tight game for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, Crunstall, thanks for tuning into the last one. This one is looking like another another attrition war. The last one was Defenders versus Web Warriors, and you could have called them the Offenders by how much killing they were doing.
Dang.
All right, so who do we have now?
Gamora
We
left
are
the Iron
Groot. We
Man.
are Groot. Yeah, there it is. Smart play by Shane here. It does see like it's funny because like you were at 6 health on Groot, right? One away. So unless Iron Man rolls really well, Groot is gonna survive, and then he's gonna activate Groot probably pretty early and heal 3 more, putting Groot at only having 1 damage taken. Like, what a guy! If that's the case, like, look at how tanky. That's why I said Groot's tanky, because you can
Yep.
feel like you're gonna kill him, and then all of a sudden you're not. All right, so let's see what Gamora does.
Yeah, here I think also before Nick Fury went, Shane had an opportunity to pass and be able to be the last person activating, which is something I think I would have liked to see, especially if he was aiming for a game of chicken early on. But he
Right,
looks like he is
this is
moving
because
quietly.
of the grunts would have let you yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I probably would have. Do you think you would have done that like early on, like right away, past twice,
I
or
think you can
sorry?
go once or twice, like put your characters like Star-Lord on the back and like prepare your gun lines with the obvious low impact activations, but trying to steal the last activation I think would have made a huge difference.
The problem is that so I've been caught by this before, and I so in my mind I would have thought that I just need to get my double, like usually it's with because I'm playing Red Skull and someone will do it to me. But I know that, so that's why I'm always antsy to activate Red Skull first, so there's none of that BS where someone can like can give me priority when I don't want it or something like that. All right, so we have Iron Man whiffing on the Groot roll, and
Yep.
yeah, so it looks like Shane's gonna get what he wants, and it looks like he's probably gonna have to have paid 2 damage for it and an incineration, assuming Groot heals early on in the round, next round. I think that was generally it was risky for Shane, but it looks like it's paying off.
I think now he either has to go with Bill or Groot, probably Groot, quickly just in order to protect his position and uh, still protect the researcher. I presume going to his side or like towards Ghost Rider.
All right, let's see here. Vodka Blitz, our trios event that we're both a part of was just paired, and it looks like you're against a team from London,
Ooh,
and
that's gonna be spicy.
I'm against a team
But
called the Cavalry. I don't know who they are. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm against the Bob Dojo DC and Steven Higgs. I think they're all people who play in the league. So I think our team is we're up for the challenge. But yeah, we got a few TTS league experienced players that we're gonna be up against in this trios event that both Vodka Blitz and I signed up for.
yep, I'm crossing my fingers for an all Canadian final, which would be really awesome.
Yeah, it
Uh,
would be cool. It would be cool to get that. I mean, I think even just getting paired up eventually would be kind of
yep,
cool, just because I think all the players on both our teams are really high level, and we've done well at events before, so it'll be a pretty intense games, I'm sure.
absolutely. Now we see Groot attacking what looks like the commandos, dealing one, maybe fishing for enough power to do the spender. Um,
Hey, is there anything missing? Do you notice
I
anything
think
missing?
2 rounds in a row we haven't seen winging it tokens from Shane, which is probably not going to help him in the long run. Playing quote unquote without a leadership is going to be tough.
Right, right. So here's actually a thing that I missed it. I feel like a little guilty for missing it, but I usually tell my players I'm not perfect at accusing or all that, but like what happened, like what is this something that should have been called out? Obviously the window has passed, but is this something that should be called out? Don't know if it's
Mm,
mandatory or not. I know that oftentimes I see a Guardians player. In my experience, like what I've experienced is people say, "Oh, I missed the window, just move
Yeah,
on." But what
I
do you
think
think we
that's
should do within this
correct.
situation?
I think we shouldn't interfere because the leadership specifically says up to 3 characters,
Oh, fair.
and
There it is.
they have the choice of not giving any of their characters winging a token. If it was choose 3 characters, or like if it was worded in a way that forced you to pick characters that were available, I think we would have a different discussion. But since it's up to 3, you can safely assume that if the player missed the window, they just chose to have none of their characters get the tokens.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly right. Thank you for that. Was a very that was a great answer. So we have Groot healing. I think like if I in my mind I'm thinking, okay, Groot heal as much as you can, and then you can root multiple times, right? So you
Yeah,
it's like I want to root as many characters I can that'll have impact on, and that would be a successful Groot activation for me. Um, I would you play Crew of the Milano to get rid of these incinerations?
I don't
Honest.
think so. I think, especially with the amount of conditions Guardians, not Guardians, Shields bound to put out with Nick Fury, the Commandos, and Dynamo. I think you want to hold on and maybe get a little like be patient and try to milk more value out of it.
Yeah, and once again, I see a comment saying some from Softflow saying we're winging it. Tokens put out. I'm once again the chat is always faster than me. Anytime I notice anything, I say it on the stream and then I look at my chat and it's already been said. Yeah. All right. Curtis says, Lucas, who are we putting as our defender? All right. Yeah. Let's just put all our strategy out there and Curtis, you said you would do it, right? You're gonna be the defender. So let's just do that. Okay. All right. So Groot, did he put out any roots?
Not that I'm aware. I
And
think he
it
was
went to
outside.
that his turn is over, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the activated token. I think we're seeing
Yeah.
Nick Fury just having gone and attacking. Looks like no one successfully whiffing on both attacks from both the grunts and himself, which I think Shane is very glad to see.
Yeah. That's
Also, not moving the researcher from the cleanup, I think, no, moved during the
power
power
phase.
phase, um, I think is a little surprising.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree that but there are problems, right? If you have more bodies on shield team that you have to deal with, and moving the researcher closer to your base is makes it that much closer for the shield team to be able to score that extra VP. So there is a thought there. I would have liked to see him move it slightly back because because you just put it in a position where it can't be moved to your home base in one
yeah,
turn. But back enough that he still has to do move actions and ideally move actions and not be able to shoot the guardians as much. But um, so I agree that I think that there's a small positional thing he could have improved on in the researcher. But let's see here.
and I agree. I think I would have liked to see the researcher go towards Ghost Rider, further away from the Shield team, just to force characters like Dynamo or Bucky to walk. Like just every action you can take away from your opponent slows their attrition down, and I think in those very low scoring games, it's where it makes the most difference.
Yeah, Curtis is complimenting Shane's game. He's saying the power phase doesn't exist today. Nah, yeah, Shane forgot to do, might have forgotten to do two things in the power phase. So I mean, we'll ask him about it, right? We'll ask him
Yeah,
if he intended to put no winging it out just as like a brag. No.
be a
Uh,
big flex.
yeah, just a huge flex by not even by he's probably doing it just so he could say, no, I was gonna make a joke about being able to play unaffiliated, but he brought crew, so that ruins that. But all right, so we have
But
Gamora going.
he's
Um,
still putting a card down with grace, so
yeah,
like
yeah,
I think
yeah. A
You
card,
could build up on
a
that.
card down and no leadership. He's trying to like show off or something.
Gamora
Okay.
going into what looks like the commandos.
Yeah. Did he roll yet?
No, I don't see any roll yet
Okay.
from either players.
All right.
Oh yeah, the blue player looked like he roll already. Yep.
That might have
Oh,
been a dodge roll, I think. A dodge roll into Fury, maybe, or something.
oh yeah, I think you're right.
Uh,
Good
Nick
catch
Fury. Nick
from the
Fury
foul.
spent 3 power fry in the sky. Okay, that's what it was.
So here we
Yep.
have Gamora doing an impressive amount of work, and Dynamo's using his famous disruption field to at least take a success away.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
See, once again, we've got the chat who is watching the game more carefully than I am. All right, so that's hopefully Gamora. Okay, we've got another attack with Gamora. We got
yeah,
another Crimson Dynamo disruption field. This is let's see here. This does so. Gamora still gets to change the dice from like blanks and shields into successes with wilds,
yeah,
but
and I think
but
Shane didn't do it previously because they were re-rolled. Uh, Here, yeah, we are seeing the same thing, not changing or counting these successes. Um, is it mandatory?
it may no, it may change.
It may. So
So he's missing. So he's losing out on his deadliest woman trigger or like modification because he's just forgetting to do it.
looks like
Um,
he got there.
yeah,
Why did he pick up a failure? Oh, Shane is typing. Um,
he is only re-rolling 1 die.
okay.
Sure. Okay, he's just okay. They didn't want to re-roll to get another wild in there. So I
Yeah.
think that they're mixed up on the order of events here. Actually, I just explained this in the last game about the dice modification steps of the attack sequence. They're mixing it up, and we can't say anything unless it affects the outcome of damage, or if someone tries to hold on. Yeah, unless someone
Especially,
does something in the wrong order or something, we can't really step in.
and honestly, since it's an optional trigger, I think that's where, as judges, you have as accusers, you have to take it up on yourself and not interfere with the players, um, unless it's mandatory because it may influence and disrupt the game further.
They're on Beam Boulevard. Boulevard says Carbolissus. I like to say Beam City. All right, they're in Beam City. Yeah, the Crimson Dynamo hasn't gone yet. We're going with okay. So hold on. Now I'm confused. How Winter Soldier got your back? That's what we're seeing. But yeah,
Yeah,
Crimson Dynamo. You're probably gonna expect him to go next on Josh's side, just because he's got a 4 beam. He's got like 4-person beam lined up. It looks like.
very well set up. Here we see Bucky completely whiffing and taking 2 damage from martial prowess, um, which is a little funny, not gonna lie, um, to see these abilities go off like that.
Yeah, yeah. Beamtown. Beamtown set up for Dynamo. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I want to see the 4 tool come out right now on Dynamo. Shane. I mean, the target prioritization there is pretty good for Shane though. Like you do want to take out the got your back characters as early as you can, usually because those extra free attacks that you can get when your character's days can add up, especially when you have 2 of them. So if Josh like went after the grunts, for example, and they had and Bucky and the Howling Commandos both had power, he Gamora could have got hit by 2 got your backs, and that would have been could have like just shut her down right there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we see very good targeting from Shane. Here we have Iron Man going into Groot, which is not blocking super well. So I see taking 3. Um, yeah, I think Groot rolled what? Was it Iron Man? Oh, it was Bullseye. Sorry. Going into Groot.
Interesting. Definitely would have liked to see Dynamo here because the power gen would have set up his disruption field. So right
Yeah.
now, Crimson Dynamo doesn't have disruption field up, and I might be a problem. So we'll see.
So here, taking one again from Bullseye and bleeding the tree.
All right. Well, if you're Shane, what are you doing now?
Oh,
Ghost
that is a
Rider? I
uh,
don't know.
uh, that's a good question. Honestly, I think uh, hmm, I think with Ghost, I would probably go with Ghost Rider. I think you can set up a very interesting beam.
I was just gonna say that a Hell on Wheels beam would be sick here. You could hit
Yeah,
Bucky, hit Nick Fury, hit Bullseye, hit the Grunts. You could hit
yeah,
like
he's got
so many characters. I am surprised he didn't think of that. Or oh, anyway, we have Star Lord. Uh, and then we.
a yikes.
All right, there we
Uh,
go. That was pretty quick. That's a pretty quick turn. He's done. A couple rerolls might have helped. I mean, I guess not in this case, but all right. Sorry, Peter into Tony. Okay. I don't know what I mean. I don't know what that means. I mean, like he. I'm trying. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We've got Dynamo. Let's see here. So we definitely can't hit Ghost Rider with the beam, but we're gonna hit three characters. The shock is probably if I'm Josh, I'm looking for that shock every time.
yeah, I think you want to minimize the risk your characters are, the risk of your characters getting hit hard, and shock is just great at doing that. So
All
we see
right, Bill.
Groot.
Definitely wanted to hit shock Bill. That's for sure. Oh no, sorry, it was Groot.
We
And
have
Groot
a
goes
daisy
down.
here.
All right, so will Gamora use martial prowess here? Peter Quill attacking Tony. There, yes, yes. It's just so slow. Oh man.
Oh, here we see another
Wow,
really
big
fiery
hit.
attack roll. Yikes, that's
Gamora.
7
Oh,
successes on
three.
5 dice.
Oh man, dude, that is crazy. 7 successes. Yeah, I rolled 5 dice and I got six. I got 7 of them to roll the
That's
side I wanted. That's just
that,
5
how
out of
is
7,
he?
perfect score, right?
How is Gamera not dazing unless I'm missing something?
uh, yeah, I don't know. Actually, that's good. That's a good question.
No. Um, she had only 2. She had only 1 success to 7.
Why don't you pop in there?
Yeah, I'll ask. Um, just want to make sure and check the log.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I saw the same thing as you, so let's see. Let's see.
I'm writing it up.
Yeah, cool.
Right up. Mhm.
Either way, that was a very successful beam. There it is. There's the K. There's the days. Yeah, shield. Shield is very strong.
Yes.
In when they have when they have got targets. When you're playing attrition, shield is super strong because they I don't know. They just have lots. They have volume of fire. They I don't know what to say. They're just freaking good.
Yep. I think that's one of Shield's strongest suit, and something players might at first it might not be super evident how it works, but through volume, you maximize your chance of like fishing for spikes and just having your odds even out through the game and just going through, like you said, sheer volume of attack and chipping away with these 1-2s, 1-2s, and sometimes like you get the 3s and 4s,
Or the
and
sevens, you know.
yep. And like at the end of the day, it just like it compounds really, really quickly, as we can see here with like 2 dazes already from like middle of round 2 on
Yeah.
what are mostly tanky characters, right?
Shadow Marvel says that the beam wasn't it wasn't the best because now he's gonna only be able to beam two characters and get two more power. Yeah, he would have liked to see Gamora, maybe Gamora and Groot both live on one and then be able to hit them again.
I think here he could jump in between Gamora and Bill to get the. Oh no, he can only get Ghost Rider, right? Bill and Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. The let's see what happens here.
yep,
All right, Bill, not
yikes!
rolling too
Crimson.
hot. Oh, here we go. We got a big roll from Bill, but another big roll from Josh. Josh is rolling really well.
Yep,
There's a
we
skill to
see
it. I think it's the blue side.
we see the volume paying off really quickly here.
Yeah. Just forcing. The problem is you're forcing a bill activation earlier when Ghost Rider's already maxed power. So you really probably want to be activating Ghost Rider so that he can continue to get the benefits the of the superpower where he generates power when his team takes damage. Also, Ghost Rider, I would have liked to see him move in more, maybe because he would have been able to use Wicked's Judgment and maybe any sort of spikes that happen. He would have been able to hit the enemy's back with a few plinks of damage. But um, we're Ghost Rider's now it looks like Bill's probably going to have to activate, or else he's going to not be able to at all this round.
I agree. I would have really liked Ghost Rider to be more proactive. Um, but yeah, I think overall Shane's, even if he's a little on the back foot this round, I think he still has enough. Um, he's in a good enough position to make a comeback, especially because he can still secure the researcher at least for now.
Yeah. So I think we're seeing Dynamo move out of the way of a really big beam is what I'm probably assuming that was for. So let's yeah, it's interesting. I think that Shane is probably playing Cosmic Ghost Rider like a little safer than you typically see because he didn't bring Deal with the Devil, which would have allowed him to like regenerate. And I think that's why like the Rocket Groot, sorry, the Rocket and Nebula instead of um instead of Gamora might have been better because then Ghost Rider has a couple of different options to deal with the devil on. But I think there's like the logic there is like why he didn't bring Deal with the Devil, because if you're losing any of these characters in order to revive Ghost Rider, it's still a pretty hefty cost to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Bill is he was about to do an action and he is taking it back, it looks like, so he's still thinking on how to handle this next activation here. Shane is.
Um,
Oh, looks like uh, he's
throwing Iron
he got it.
Man.
Yeah. The problem is you don't want to make with when you have less activations than your opponent. Like we're dealing with 7 activations, 14 actions for the shield side versus only 10 actions on the guardian side. You don't want to be making very many move actions if you're Shane. And
Yeah, I agree. I think those, like the action compression and the efficiency of his actions, are under a lot more pressure than the shield player.
yeah, so I mean, like in based on that fact, I mean, I think at this point I'm risking it. I'm throwing a Summon the Storm into Bucky, and then I'm attacking his grunts just for that power generation, and then that's I mean that I don't know. It's like the reason you do that in that order is so that you don't get got your back again from from Bucky. But I don't know. There's maybe you hit Nick Fury. Um, not like I don't know. There's not. Let's see what happens. But I feel like hold on. Bill's already activated.
Yeah,
That's what
he
I'm
just
seeing.
finished.
What did he attack? He didn't attack anything.
Um, I think what I saw, he attacked. What do I see? I think he threw Iron Man. Wait, what? I think I'm.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if he.
he threw Iron Man and made some unsuccessful attack.
Okay,
Uh,
maybe he just moved. I don't know. Either way, well, Iron Man's gonna go.
he's gonna do a Friday AI, but
Oh
also got
man,
Ghost Rider.
wow! Look at that roll.
Yikes! Pulling 5
5.
into Ghost Rider, who's already on 10 powers, so
Oh man,
literally
just
gaining
free
nothing
damage.
away from this. Even pushing him out,
Yeah.
which with Hell on Wheels doesn't super matter, but
I think it
you could.
matters. I think it might matter enough, and I guess we're probably gonna find out because I'm sure Ghost Rider will activate
Yep,
right now. But like in my mind, I'm thinking just shoot at Bucky. This is
yeah,
like you need to get Bucky here, and I'm not entirely sure if it gets him there. It looks like it probably does though. Let's see.
yeah. Long move is really really far. I would expect him to be within range.
I don't know. It's I think I think Shane's making the wrong decision here on the target priority. Like Iron Man is not on the point.
Yeah,
You got your back is like potential on like he's in range 5 of Bucky right now. I think
yeah,
he
I
could
would
just get
agree.
he could get dazed on his own turn. Oh my gosh.
And here with Iron Man getting both cover and damage reduction from the building is absolutely not an appealing target. Here we see Ghost Rider spending for a penance stare going into Iron Man with 10 dice,
Okay,
which I don't dislike, but cover and DR are going to put in
I
some
know.
heavy.
Yeah, exactly. 5.
Yeah,
That's not enough to get him because he does have cover.
yeah,
So it's gonna put him on 1, I think.
yes, and reduce his
4. He
power.
goes down to 4 power. It was close, but hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, he misses cover. He forgets
Missed
to use
cover.
cover. Wow.
Yep.
A small, obviously, it's another thing for the chat to remember if you're watching this. Like,
He also gained power from the attack, which is not okay.
yeah, so yeah, fix that.
Yeah,
Um, but we do have a got your back online here, and yeah, that was a big. There we go. Yeah. So that was a big hit and a miss on Josh's side from the cover option.
yeah.
So we've got a got your back here. Wow. So yeah, if you're watching the chat and your cover literally could have saved Iron Man there. So just
Yeah,
something to keep in mind. Always check for cover. It could change the game. All right, we have a got your back 1 into blocks, no damage. So Ghost Rider gets to continue the turn. A move action for Ghost Rider, putting him on the points. So this basically means Bucky can't win the point unless he takes out either Bill or Ghost Rider, and then like probably hops his way over there if that's if he has enough power to do so, and that would just tie the points.
I think that's probably the way to go. Just going into Ghost Rider, trying to get the extra 3 damage, which would hopefully let him Hydra Tactics on Nick Fury, then maybe the Grunts. and try to leverage that positioning to be on the point.
Yeah. All right, so we're going into Ghost Rider here with Bucky. When Ghost Rider doesn't have Deal with the Devil online, there is a very high incentive to shoot at him,
Yeah.
typically because he, if you shoot at his friends, or like if you're within 3 of Ghost Rider and you shoot at his teammates and you roll like a crit or two, Ghost Rider can gain power and then spend that power to deal the amount of damage to you equal to the number of crits you rolled. But um, but then when you have Deal with the Devil and you shoot at Ghost Rider, you're really having to take him out once, not normally, and then once again after he revives. So in this case, there's really not too much punishment here for the shield player to take out Ghost Rider as soon as possible.
We may see Ghost Rider dazing here if he doesn't convert his crit, uh, taking 2 and dazing, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm not quite sure Bucky can get to the researcher
Yeah,
from
he
the
doesn't
whole
have
Bucky
the Hydro
conflict.
Tactics on the grunts won't get him there.
Yeah, so I think staying there is probably a-okay. He's very ahead in attrition, and I think that's probably he's correctly identified that was his way out.
Yeah. So Josh, Darth Nazrael is pretty new to the game itself, and he sent me a message about like where he came from and all that. So I'm just gonna read that out here before we get into the next round. So he's been playing since April. His brother got him into it, and his brother fell off, or he wasn't too interested. But Josh stuck with it, and he really likes it. But he came from Star Wars Imperial Assault. He's a member of the steering committee of the Imperial Assault Continuity Project, which basically is just a bunch of volunteers who are continuing to provide updates to the game. And a cool little fun fact is that the actual company who owns Imperial Assault asked that committee or this project, which he's a part of, to run Adepticon for them on behalf of the company. And so he got to participate in that, and he won the Wakanda Champion of a Champions like qualifier event for Rich Mid's recent event that he ran. So his next goal here is to win a TTS league. Or sorry, not win one. Oh, look out. He said make the cuts. Make the cuts.
All right, that's fair. Winning a TTS league, I think Lucas knows probably better than anyone, is not an easy feat to accomplish.
Oh yeah, no,
We
it's
finally see start of round 3, winging it tokens going out to Bill, Gamora, and Ghost Riders, which I think are all probably the best picks.
yeah, for sure.
And maybe we'll get to see the researcher get moved. But it's
Here we go. He's
here we
Shane.
go.
Shane has remembered how to play the game. All right, all
Um,
right.
so yeah, 8-3. I think Shane is not too is probably not too dissatisfied with his scoring, but I think he needs to be careful on his attrition plan as to not crumble too quickly into Shield's gun line.
Yeah, I think that if Shane so Shane will have has priority here. If he can take out a character, or like if he can get the commandos or get Iron Man before they activate, it will put him in a little better of a position. Uh, and because that just means like that activation discrepancy will be a lot smaller. And even if Shane does lose like one of his characters before they get to activate, but it is still pretty tight. And
Yeah,
Shield does have a lot of tricks, typically in defensive tech that will prevent. It'll make the job hard for Shane to do that.
for sure.
Um, the one thing that let's see that I was gonna say. Let's see. What was it? Okay, I don't remember anyway. All right, so we've got Gamora going into Bucky. It looks like,
Yeah,
but we have
Dynamo paying 2 for disruption
yeah.
field. Here are 2 wilds, which if they sequence well, uh, would give him 4 successes. Do we see dice mods? Oh, I think they're reading the card as we speak and looking for that timing.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. They might Shane might be realizing, hey, oh no, I've been I haven't been modifying my dice before the roll. Here we go. Yeah, the timing is super important, especially if you're trying to play as optimally as you can, understanding when you get to change dice faces and when you get to reroll and all that, and when your opponent gets to reroll your dice
Yep,
is
we saw
really
Wayne.
helpful.
But here, unfortunately, since he has 2 failures, he can only modify one of his dice. Oh, yeah, we see getting the timing right here, showing 4 successes before Dynamo's rerolls. Um, and one stays as is, showing a total of 3 into 3 defense die from Bucky, taking no damage.
Wow, that
Oh,
disruption
taking.
field is super powerful.
Oh, I think we just saw a spender from Gamora. If we're seeing a wild Pierce on this, um,
Okay.
which means she'll get to attack him again.
Yeah. Well, it's a range.
Another target,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah,
So I think here cleaving the commandos is
yeah.
probably the
That
best
seems good.
call. Trying to get rid of those rapid fire characters, as you mentioned, as quickly as possible.
It'd be it'd be pretty cool here is if he was able to kill the commandos with this attack, and then Bucky got your back, and then she martial prowesses and then kills Bucky because he doesn't do any damage.
Oh, that would be really
That
hilarious.
would be pretty
Like I think,
funny.
yep, and I think it would give Shane a pretty like it would probably let him catch his breath after
Yeah, I
all
mean
the
we're talking. Oh, here we go. We've got to sacrifice. Oh, we can't sacrifice on Bullseye. But oh, the one thing I was gonna say was that Shane is currently 3-0 in the league, and Josh is currently 2-1. So if Shane wins, he's 4-0 and 1 win away from qualifying for Top Cut. Um, and if Josh wins, they're both 3-1. So this was a pair down. But if Josh wins, basically they're both still in the running to make Top Cut. So there's less pressure on Shane to win this match, except for maybe like the pride, right? Everyone, no one wants to lose a game, so
Yeah, it would also make the rest of his run easier. Just needing to win one of those 2 last games instead of needing to win both in order to qualify for the finals.
yeah, yeah. I remember
Uh,
you were 5-0 going into the last game in season 8, right? So that must have felt
yeah,
like I had the same thing happen in season 10. It felt really good to play that last game because it didn't really matter.
yeah, like you could take a breather and like have it be chiller and maybe try some stuff and just be able to change things up by having that cushion.
Yeah, yeah. The I mean the pressure is on in that season 8. I lost my second game, so it's in this season I think was it the first game that
Oh,
you lost and
I
you're
think no crits on sacrifice.
oh yeah, okay, call that out.
Yeah,
But you're still in the running here to make Top Cut for the season.
yes, I am currently 3-1. Hoping to keep my. Oh, that's Bucky taking the hit. Um, did we miss? Did I
They're
miss
hopping. You
something?
might want to jump in their chat if they're going a little too quick.
Yeah, I wrote the no crits on sacrifice. See if I was correct for the players.
Did they fix it?
Um, I'm
Dude, they're just going really fast.
yeah. I want to check like if they played Dynamo. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed something and like sacrifice. That wasn't the sacrifice attack, but just the other attack from Gamora's spender.
Yeah. Are we sure? We could. I mean, you could jump in and ask them. It would. It wouldn't. Yeah, if you jump in and ask them, maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
It's your. What's your call? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd rather let them resolve it as to not interrupt the flow of
Yeah,
gameplay for
that's totally
now,
fair.
especially if I'm not sure if we got something. I'd rather not interrupt the players uh, unless it's needed.
Yeah. Okay, so we've Gamora's activation done, and she almost got the problem is that it wasn't as impactful as she really needed it to be. We have only one damage on the commandos and one damage on Bucky, I think. Or either way, he has one health left, Bucky. So we're Gamora is probably pretty bummed. Crimson Dynamo probably just messed with her a little too
Ooh.
much here. They
I'm
sacrificed the Gamora attack into Dynamo. Then it looks like it was a second action to attack Winter Soldier. So uh, I think
if
we're fine. I mean, Shadow
yep.
Marvel isn't saying anything, so so it means that we're probably fine.
Yeah, that's the perk of having four accusers watching and commenting the same game.
Yeah, you can just blame the other ones.
Here, I'm not
Okay.
sure I like Dynamo going first, even if it looks like he can get four people in his beam. I think preserving your activations, especially with Bucky being so close to dazing, would have probably been interesting. But I get the appeal of wanting Dynamo to uh,
Yeah.
show why he's one of the most played characters in MCP
Um.
at the moment.
Are we? Um. Did Josh miss his VP gaining option on his leadership?
He has no one dazed this turn, but he got a last round.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's always one I always like remember halfway through the next round or something like that. But okay,
Uh, he marked it with a shield token on
nice.
Nick Fury.
There we go.
So
Awesome.
here we see Dynamo rolling another three and shocking another character. I presume if it's three dice, it's going to be Gamora. Yep, we see Gamora taking three and being shocked, which leaves Bill and Groot to be hit just yet. Yep, going into Groot.
When did Groot
Pretty
get incinerated? Was
uh,
that just he
during
forgot to flip?
during the power phase from the demon
Oh yes,
portal.
yeah, yeah. We're flank demons. Yeah, I just thought we were just shooting each other, and that was it.
A pretty big swing here, dealing three to Groot, and
Yeah.
having
Wow.
another beam ready is probably going to be rough for Shane.
Yeah. This is
Um,
Alright,
here
so
we
no
have Bill
damage.
taking no damage if he pays the one. Oh, oh no, it's sorry, it's just straight up blocked from the crit.
This is how you like to play X-Men, right, Simon?
Oh yes, my
Just right.
favorite playstyle. Scrum in the middle, everybody throws dice, and that's how I roll.
have you played a lot of Cyclops since the update, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I've actually played a really. I think I'm close to 25 games with X Men Blue so far. Because I really wanted to get a good feel for how it plays. I really like it if only as an alternative to X Men Gold for some of the worst shapes for Storm. I think it just opens up a lot of possibilities for the affiliation. I think it makes a lot of the bad matchups into like okay matchups now, which I like a lot.
Yeah, I've played I don't know, maybe like half a dozen games with them or so, and I um I like it. I just don't think that like they want to be all grouped up like on Demons and Gamma is what I'm getting the sense of because you can't really get benefits of the leadership on like Bs and Ds as much as you would want. Um, and but I think there's other teams that are better at those matchups, and it makes me nervous. I think the comparison I keep making is that it feels very similar to Shadowlands Daredevil to me,
Yeah,
and we don't see Shadowlands Daredevil as much as we were when he first came out. And so I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is that like I don't think this is any sort of game warping change to the X-Men team. And I agree with you. Like this is like it gives them different options into scenarios where they felt uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And they're a lot of fun too. Like Shuri with Cyclops, I have a lot of fun rolling Cyclops' dice when I get to re-roll those hits, and I had like a double push into a double push, and like those feel like that was just so awesome. It feels so good.
yeah,
So there's a lot of great things about there's a lot of great things about the leadership, and it's pretty fun to play.
yep. I agree. I think the and that might be my spicy take. I think um, Cyclops leadership. You still want to play on like I want to say mid-range close maps. I'm thinking about Sword, Fisk, Mayor Fisk, and I actually really like Bees. But in order to leverage X Men Blue well into Bs and Ds, I feel you need to have a very macro perspective. And what I mean by that is, with X Men, with like even with Cyclops stays one of the premier extract teams, since most of your plays are still available there. And I think if you leverage that extract advantage and pivot towards like one of the two sides on Bs and collapse there, I think you can leverage the leadership very well. But it forces you to think about like the game as a whole and not a like shape driven or turn by turn sequence.
Yeah, I
But
think that's my problem. I try to capture all of the D shapes, and it never works out.
yeah, that's where you have to make your choices and like try to pivot and collapse as much as you can in
Yeah,
order to leverage it effectively. But I
that's
think
that's a
that
fair point. Like the cards still exist on X Men Blue, and you just don't get the Storm Hop like that one tool that you is often used early game. You don't have access to that, but you do have access to the rest of the cards and the models that can help with other things like that. I played Cable this weekend, but I played him under Steve Avengers, and that was the first time I'd played him, and man, he was
oh yeah,
awesome. I
he
loved him.
feels really amazing now. Um, but yeah, overall, I really like the changes they made. Here, I think we see Crew of the Milano, which not okay on Ghost Rider. Well, type it up.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yep. Um, so it looks like he's doing a beam attack is what I think he was trying to do. No, he didn't. He didn't pay for that. Okay, so no, he's doing a regular attack. It looks like.
Oh,
Let's see here. So he's doing a regular 6 dice energy attack, I think, right? So that's what I think I'm seeing.
yeah,
He's still
I think
shocked.
that's yeah,
Yeah, that's a sad Ghost Rider here.
yep. Which is
So
another reason why I think I would have liked to see CGR being affiliated, especially uh,
right.
here would have made a pretty significant difference.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. The points are low enough. You don't even they're incinerated already. You might not even have to like pull them in because
Yeah, you just go and attack like as hard as you can. But here, I like seeing Ghost Rider's beam, even if it goes down. Oof, going down to 4 dice is
yeah,
probably
that's the
rough.
part that makes me nervous. Also, not hitting Bucky too. So it's like even if you get lucky, if Bucky could just shoot you, and he's got to reroll one because he's within one of Ghost Rider. It just yeah, and we've got disruption field, so it's like I don't even think they're gonna take very much damage. It's Ghost Rider just didn't have.
Honestly,
Oh man,
I would
I would
almost
spend her into. I
reject.
mean, or I'd do something to Bucky, I guess. Right? You go into Bucky first.
Yeah, I don't think he's within 3 of the commandos, but I think just heading Dynamo and Bucky.
The problem
Um,
is a 5 dice attack with the Crimson Dynamo. Um,
Here, I think we're going to see a move outside of the range of Dynamo in order to get rid of either Bucky or the
oh
commandos.
man,
But I think that's like it's going to put Shane in a hard position, like forcing him to be further than I think he'd like to be.
yeah. The only thing I could, I mean, the thing that I can say is not. The positive thing I can say about this is that there is a little bit of disincentive to attack Ghost Rider because he's not in playing the scenario game at all right now, and so maybe that prevents a few shots from going his way and surviving another round. But and Shane does have the lead, but I think that Josh. I mean, you just shoot at him. You just shoot at Ghost Rider. He's like free. You just gave. I don't know. I'm very nervous for Shane's models being able to stay alive this round.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a tough position to be in at the moment.
Soft blow. Dynamo doing 30 damage over 2 rounds. Let's put Shane in the corner for attrition. Yeah, yeah. I'm my anytime I put 30 damage onto my opponent, for some reason I always win.
Yeah, that's usually a pretty decent strategy. Here we see a spender from Ghost Rider going into the commandos, which looks like it's going to take them off the board.
Yeah.
But here he is risking Ghost Rider just being KO'd from Bucky's Got Your Back.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they're gone. Eye in the Sky was played. Okay, so basically he got Eye in the Sky played. He moved Ghost Rider into a spot that he could still hit him. So Eye in the Sky effectively basically staggered Ghost Rider. It forced him to take a move action
We see here
to get the hit.
Josh getting the VP from the leadership.
Yeah. So I wonder, it'd be interesting if he goes with Bucky, right? If Josh goes with Bucky here and attacks into like Gamora or Bill or something and rolls a crit, he
Here
could
we see
die
that
from
Got
Wicked
Your Back
Judgment.
completely whiffing into Ghost Rider, which I think
Not enough
Shane
power
is very
from that.
glad to see.
Yeah. So if Bucky goes and attacks into anyone and rolls a crit, he dazes because of Wicked's Judgment.
Except if he goes into Ghost Rider. Because
Yes,
that's the
of course.
only
Yeah. Except if he actually goes into Ghost Rider. So he's Becky is very
very
incentivized.
incentivized to hit Ghost Rider. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think if you're Josh, you're happy trading your commandos for a 5 threat on the opposing side of the board.
Yeah.
Especially considering where the attrition sits at the moment.
That's right. That's right. Trading 2 actions on Josh's side for probably what Josh is probably going to take out the 2 actions that Ghost Rider has is even like not even considering threat value is not enough for Shane. He needs to be taking out like 2 characters per character he loses.
I think the other thing Josh is probably interested in doing is trying to get rid of Groot before he goes, maybe with Iron Man or Nick Fury, just to build back power and try to leverage that.
Okay, here we go. It might happen. Let's see if Bucky rolls any crits, and let's see if Shane catches it.
Oh,
No crits.
no crits, but no
But no
rapid
blocks.
fire.
All right, I'm sure he'll do the attack again. Anytime I whiff an attack, even if moving is better, I always just do the attack again. Like every other player, basically, right? All right, the stack whiffs. All right, let's just do it again. Let's see.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see Shane root Crimson Dynamo early on because that disruption field has been putting in a really impressive amount of work so far.
Yeah, that is 100% right. That is definitely the play. Anytime you see like Bill and Dynamo on the table, which I've been seeing a lot of, Root is a great answer to those characters.
We see Bucky going into Bill. Probably
Here's the crit. There's the crit. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Bill just takes a massive amount of damage. Oh Lord, Bill's dazed. Do we get the Wicked's Judgment, please, please, Shane?
that would be really cool. If not,
Please, Shane,
have
do it.
We have
Um,
to ask it after the games. It looks like
oh man.
it's
Oh, hold on.
not.
What's he playing? Battlefield Medicine. Is he playing it? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, he played it. Oh man, he
Oh
could have got
no!
him. He could have got him, and he didn't. Oh, Shane.
Oh, what a missed opportunity! That for sure is going to be a question
Yeah, we'll
from my
ask him
side at
about
the end of
that.
the game. Yep.
um, oh man, that's
Not to
crazy.
rub it in, but Ghost Rider gains a power.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It's gonna remind him,
Um,
or maybe not, but yeah, it's it's funny. I
yep.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I think everyone makes yeah. Got to read his cards and know these powers. I mean, yeah, you gotta. It's crazy how easy it is to forget these things, and just reading your cards before your game, like even when I do it, I read them like out loud to myself. It's just like you don't think it would help, but oh my gosh, it does help quite a bit.
Yeah, I
I
think
have to
that.
do that more often.
Yeah, I think that's honestly one of the things that makes Ghost Rider harder to pilot is like just needing to remember both his passive and reactive trigger in order to leverage his kit more efficiently can really make a huge difference.
Yeah. It's I think that's just like it's such an easy thing to do, to like level up your game, even though like it's just so easy. The easiest thing you could do is just like just read your cards before you bring them to an event or something like that. You got 10 cards, just read them all out loud to yourself. And obviously your tactic cards and all that too. It takes 10 minutes and like you'll play better just by doing that. And yeah, that's the shape is the Wicked's judgment.
Yeah,
Or
I
yeah,
think locally it's one of the things we try to teach newer players, since MCP is an open game information. Like there's nothing hidden on characters or tactics card. Like you have
yeah,
access to everything that's on the table. Sometimes just even mid game, taking 2 minutes to see, can I do something? Like just taking a quick minute to read your cards, even mid game, can make a pretty big difference, and that's how you learn. Um, how to play your characters better, because like here, if Ghost Rider would have dazed Bucky, I think it makes for a pretty memorable moment, and then you're more likely to remember what it does next time.
yeah. That's totally fair, especially when you just like you said, when you use a superpower in a highly effective way. It definitely I can see that like locking in a memory of and then being able to easily remember that ability in the future. Yeah, totally.
And it also makes for great storytelling, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
just having those crazy games where there's big swing and like superpowers saving your bacon from a really desperate situation.
Yep. So it looks like Groot is probably going to be moving and spendering, is what I'm seeing here, giving a stagger and a throw to Iron Man.
Yeah.
Um, it's going to put him off the point. It looks like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
which I is a
yeah,
play I like, because I think we're getting to the point where Iron Man and Josh has a lot of power in his team for Helios, and I think with how attrition's going for Shane, that Helios is looking pretty juicy.
yeah. Especially, it's just like at this point with a bunch of characters that are injured and low on health, it's just like I'm going to play this card, and the model is no longer going to exist.
Yeah, provided you throw enough power at it.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, of course, yeah. You never know. All right, here's a spender in Iron Man. Blocks two with crits on Iron Man, and we got a four. 5 total. Takes two and a throw.
Yeah,
Dynamo. Oh, Dynamo did his. Did I miss something?
yeah, I'm not. Was it into Dynamo? Am I?
I don't know. I don't know what I just saw.
Yeah. Who's taking the attack? Iron Man stealth. Oh, throws before damage. Uh, why didn't he explode his crits?
Maybe he critted into a crit. No, that doesn't make sense.
No, there's only 4 dice, so
Yeah, if you could check on that.
yeah. Um, no, I think they actually just missed 2 crits.
Yeah, yeah, it
Uh,
looks like it. Oh, look at that. He blocks one more. He didn't brace it, so he takes two. Um, yeah. Let's see here. Groot heals, of course. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Keeps him, puts him back to full health. So, I mean, he's probably gonna survive and play next round, but there's still Nick Fury and Bullseye to go. You can ping him.
yeah, I agree. I think now Josh has a pretty juicy target in Gamora with both Nick and the grunts.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would just be worried about the martial prowess maybe, but I mean, you're maybe you move out of range of martial prowess.
if not Bullseyes, I think is also a good candidate to try and get rid of Gamora. Paying 2 for the hit and run,
Yeah,
and I never miss, not risking much, and then being able to attack her again from outside martial prowess range.
yeah, that's totally fair. There's the hit. There's the hit and run. It looks like. He is still within two of Gamora,
Yep.
so she's probably pumping the defense dice here. But yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't even matter how many dice she rolls. She's still taking one no matter what happens.
Yeah, and I think like it forces power out of her, and if you place yourself outside of 2,
Yeah,
uh, here we see Bullseye probably taking 2 damage,
yeah,
uh, which I don't think you hate if you're Josh, because now Bullseye is probably going to be able to do his spender, um, which has 5 dice and auto rapid fire, which could really hurt her if he's outside of range 4.
yeah. So I think I mean like I'm looking at the movement tool. And I'm pretty nervous that that Josh is just gonna put Bullseye like in the middle of the board to die by from Star Lord. Um, but let's see what he does here. Yeah, it's like you definitely have room to just keep Bullseye in the back point and then hit Gamora outside of range two.
Yeah,
So it seems like that's probably the best thing to do. You don't want Bullseye is definitely not a frontliner here. All right, he does not
yeah,
belong in the middle of the board.
especially getting closer to Star Lord and with only 2 health left.
Yeah,
I think you want to still be on your point outside of 2
I
Gamora.
mean like even at this point, I'd even consider just moving into onto the point, but then like hitting Ghost Rider with two 5 dice attacks in auto
Yeah,
bleed. Oh, he's immune to bleed, but the only problem, I guess, the only problem I have with that um, is that you're losing power that Helios could have funded. So I think, yeah, I think this is a misplay here on Josh's part. You're putting Bullseye with 2 health and incinerated already, like ready to be attacked by Star Lord.
and I think here if he actually goes, oh, going into Groot,
Spender.
yeah, I'm not a fan of this just because I think you will really want to prioritize taking characters off the table at this point,
Yeah.
especially with the VP differential.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, a spike could do it, but it's he's still got 7. He's 7 health, so there's 4. That's great. 2 on Groot. So, I mean, it's still 2 damage auto bleed on the attack. Ooh, another great roll. Both sides had good rolls.
Yep. Yep. Very
Wow.
good.
That was a very strong roll. 5 out of 7. Perfect.
Putting Groot in a very precarious position again.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow, that's nice work, Bullseye.
yep.
Putting 4 damage through.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about this outcome in particular is just Nick and the Grunts being able to maybe take off both Groot and Gamora if everything goes well off the table, which could really be big.
Yeah, the four dice. It's interesting, right? The four dice reroll with the agents. It hits harder than Bullseye. Now, of course, Bullseye has the auto damage ability, but regardless of that, like four dice reroll is stronger than Bullseye's attack, and they're grunts. They're not even like they cost nothing. They're part of the Nick Fury package. All right, Star Lord 3 into Bullseye, probably rolling 2, I would imagine.
Yeah, because he's incinerated. So we here, I think we are
We got a
seeing
dazed Bullseye.
Bullseye.
And got your back out of range, I would imagine. Let's see.
I
I
would
mean, check it. You got to
probably,
check it at least.
yeah,
Yeah, there, you always got. You
here,
should always check it.
yeah.
Just to build the habit, right? Like you never forget that option. All right, so Bullseye. See, there you go. That's exactly why Bullseye going there was a misplay because he could have just sat at the back and guaranteed a VP for Josh's side of the board. Instead, he's dazed, not contributing at all.
Here we see, a very good roll from the Grunts. Maybe KOing Groot right here. Yes.
There it is. Wow.
Yep, that's Groot off the boards, giving a power to Nick, which is really, really big because now the Grunts can even attack Gamora. Um,
Yeah. Nick Fury gets that power. There it is. And yeah, you might as well go with the grunts. You burn your martial prowess.
yep,
Because if they die, Nick Fury still gets a power.
yep. So you're happy either way. Think if you're Josh, here we have 3 blocks into 3 before the reroll. Here, if Josh gets the attack through, it's pretty big, but no. This takes the Grunts off the board.
That's
Um,
fine.
yeah, and I
You
think like it still puts Nick at 2 power, which lets him do a Fury special, and if that fails to kill Gamora, do a lead from the front, which will bring his Grunts back on the
I
field.
think I think you put the grunts out and put him on the researcher.
Is he? Uh, I don't think it matters because they cannot contest.
They can test
Oh,
researcher,
oh,
yeah.
they can contest a researcher. That's true.
Yeah. So it would just stop the Shane from scoring another 2 VPs. But let's see what happens here. Gamora couldn't do her defensive buff, so she's just rolling 3.
I'm curious why there's 4 dice. There's a 4 die attack. Um, is Bucky's doing got your back into Gamora.
Oh, wow, nice. Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, okay. Wow, and it almost got Gamora there. And now Nick Fury gets an attack into her.
Yeah,
So,
and hopefully.
he's gonna just double. He's just gonna move and then attack her.
No, I think I would have preferred to go through volume of attack, but this is not a bad plan either.
Yeah, but
Uh,
here's my thinking though is that, uh, are you going to attack Gamora? If so, why not attack her now, and then you can make a better movement decision afterwards, especially since
I
she doesn't have the defensive tech up.
I agree, and it looks like Nick is just outside of
Oh yeah, look at that.
the researcher. I would have liked to see it measured before. Also, yeah, this can be an expensive mistake for.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I think he can just attack Gamora, put down the grunts for 2 and on the researcher, and then you're yeah. So he's double
yeah,
moving. He's leaving Gamora on 1. Who else has to go? Iron Man has to go. So he's kind of he's
he's
banking a little
staggered
bit
and
on.
probably not doing anything much. I
Oh
think
man.
not
Now
getting
now
a
you pay the grunts and you
sale.
win the researcher. Now you at least okay, win the researcher then at least.
Yeah.
He might
Um,
I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he knows that.
Not getting those KOs, I think, on either Gamora or Ghost Rider can be an expensive mistake for Josh.
Yeah, I think Shane is like hope he's like, please God, let me activate Gamora. So let's see what Iron Man does. Move on to the
Well,
point. Shoot
being
Gamora.
staggered, I don't think he's going to do
Oh yeah,
much.
right. Yeah, you're right. He could Helios Gamora. No stealth, right? No, never mind. Shoot,
Yep.
I forgot about stealth. Yeah, so um, Ooh, that's there's definitely um a few opportunities that Josh missed here. But so let's see if Shane can recover from the window that was left for him.
Um, I also think like it's easy to say this, like to say everything we're saying when you're spectating and you have that bird's eye view of the game, but especially when you're playing in leagues and tournaments, you're bound to miss these opportunities and maybe play sequences, and it's a lot easier for us in the commenting position um, to say all that. But when you're in the driver's seat and like the game's getting hot, it can be hard to see those sequences. So I
Yeah.
still want to give like props to both players. I think they're still playing a fairly good game here.
Yeah, I agree. It is definitely a completely different experience when you're actually the one piloting the list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like it's a lot easier to mess up when you get into your own head and like you have the headspace, especially in later parts of a tournament, where it only gets harder and harder, right?
yeah. Oh, I've tilted. I've tilted so much in the actually that game that I played on Friday. It's on my YouTube. It was Midnight Suns X Men. I was playing X Men, and um, oh my gosh, I had to mute my mic and tell myself to like get it together and like don't like just like do not tilt when I Hulk is just like smashing my team.
Oh yeah, I get that. I had a game like this at LVO, like last LVO, where I was very down on points. I couldn't see any way out, and since we were playing with chess clocks, I let the time go on me and went for a 5 minute walk just to clear my head and step with a fresh look on the game. And it helped me, and I managed to get the win. So sometimes just like taking a few minutes to compose yourself, especially if you're running on chess clocks on round timers, it gets a little more iffy. But take the time that's allotted to you and try to stay cool-headed when you feel that pressure mounting.
Yeah, for sure. I was playing round timers yesterday, and I just told my opponent, I said, I'm gonna need a few minutes here. And I just sat there for like 3 or 4 minutes, basically going through every possibility, and it was yeah, it was a tight game, but I pulled it out with a Helios laser. So
Very
yeah, it's exactly like the being in the game is obviously it's a lot different than being able to nitpick from our perspective here right now.
absolutely. Here, I think we see Gamora going into trying to go into Bucky, which gets promptly eyed in the sky out of her range.
Yeah.
Um, I think if you're Gamora, you probably want to try to. I would like to try and KO uh, Iron Man or Bullseye, ideally both, especially since with only 2 power, Bucky can't get their backs.
Yeah, I think that's what we're probably seeing. We're probably seeing him worry. He's too worried about got your back, and he doesn't see he's about to get he's about to get
Helios.
Helios lasered. Yeah, yeah. There we go. Oh, look at that. He's changed his tools around. You like to see it when like you think they're making a misplay, and then all of a sudden all the tools just shift sides.
I think he's probably now starting to respect Dynamo's disruption field. But I
Right.
think like if Gamora wants to continue living, she has to. She really has to get rid of Bullseye.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Do you think she should go into Bullseye now, or like do you think?
That's a tough question because I think like especially where she stands at with only 1 health. I think Bullseye is the juicier
Oh,
target with only 4
yeah.
health and um,
But Bullseye can kill her if he attacks her once, right? So you
yes,
can't. Yeah.
which is the very rough part, which I think leads me to think he should go into Iron Man.
Yeah, I see that. Outside of three of Dynamo is like what he's thinking here. Needs to
Yep,
have line of sight, which barely does.
yep, but it still looks legal to me. Yep, roll. But maybe. Yep,
Ma-
it looks still
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah,
In the
barely
blue
can see him.
shield.
I see it. I've tilted the camera. And,
Yep. You got to leverage terrain as best as you can because that guaranteed success from cover makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, speaking from experience, right? The that losing that cover, man, makes me it's like I wish I basically I'm not gonna play X-Men anymore. That cover was too good, and now that I've lost it on Storm's leadership, I can't go back.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, I think the part I dislike the most about X-Men Gold losing cover is now I actually have to learn the rules of cover instead of just having it all the time.
Yeah.
But I think that's something like that's really just a first world problem, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Shane rolls 4 successes. If he converts the wild, he gets 4 successes. Iron Man rolls 2, taking only 1. That's not what you're looking for if you're Shane here. He's look. Do you? You can't even recal it or anything like that.
We're
Here.
also seeing a distinct lack of winging it tokens once
Yeah.
again.
Oh
Yeah,
man. Oh man. That's rough. That's rough. Cause would that have been enough? It would have if he got both 2 successes there.
yeah, I think so. Like here, it also looks like he didn't. Well, converting your die doesn't really matter, but it would have probably helped him try to get rid of Iron Man.
Yeah, yeah. 4 into 2. Yeah, because if you converted your wild and then you re-rolled the 2 and got 2 more successes, uh that would have been 6 into 2, which is you take 3. So yeah, and he lived. I think the numbers work out where he would have died.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah, that's really
that's a
rough.
bummer for Shane.
Yep. Um, yeah, and I think here Josh is in a good position to try and get rid of Ghost Rider. Uh, I think hopefully with Bucky, maybe he's looking at the Helios from Iron Man, um, which I don't hate, but one of the big drawbacks of Helios is that it often leaves your team very power starved afterwards. So you really need it to clean house,
Yeah.
if you will.
Um. I think you. I don't know if you worry about Gamora right now. You've already activated.
I
Um.
think it may only be a way to build one extra power for the second attack in the Helios.
Maybe, but he gets
Sure.
enough.
So far, showing two, and I think that gets Gamora. Yep. Yeah. Here, I think we
Here it
see
is.
Helios
Just going to
going to,
who are you
I
going in Ghost
presume,
Rider?
Ghost
Yeah, there
Rider.
we go.
Here,
Yeah.
two. Yeah. So that's uh, two for the card. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 3. That's 12 dice. Hoping to deal 4 damage. Realistically, um, no, 16. Oh yeah, there's the base. I forgot the base die from the card. Um, here looking like it's gonna clean house with Ghost Rider, and I don't want to say that seals the deal, but that puts Shane in a very hard position to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is um, it's been a challenge. Shane's kept in it, but I think that he's like yeah, he's losing on the war of attrition here. He's got 4 actions left to what is this? 12 actions if you count the grunts. But they're not out, so it's really just like 10 actions. Four. It's just not enough. I think that one thing I was thinking about is that the pounds from Gamora hasn't really done what it you would want it to do this game, and that's because he hasn't utilized Bill's throw to really bring the brace, like take the brace off the table. And
Yeah,
that's what usually happens when you have a character when you have a brace out. It's either you just don't even bother doing terrain, or you try to burn it as early as you can on your opponent.
that's a pretty big whiff from Bill right here.
Oh
Or
wow.
Star Lord, sorry.
Oh, he had
Star Lord,
plucky
yeah.
though. He rolled plucky because he rolled
Lucky
nothing.
roll, anything,
Let's see if he
which
gets. Oh,
At
that's a
least
good
worked
switch.
well for the spender, giving 2 conditions, I believe. Yep. Um, into Nick Fury, oof, I am not sure I liked the targeting on Nick Fury because giving him power to summon his grunts and do bigger attacks is um, probably going to be rough if he can leverage it effectively.
Yeah, so he's probably determined to go all in on Fury. I would have
Yeah.
liked to see Bill throw this size 4 trailer earlier in the
Yeah,
game.
especially with no power. Here he
Yeah.
also just had a good opportunity to throw the size 3 into Fury since he had no power to
Oh, he
brace.
didn't. Oh, yeah, that was yeah. I'm just saying, like, it would have to burn Josh's brace earlier. That way, Gamora would have had a more effective game because her pounce would have actually like put damage through. But he had brace up the whole time. Josh did, so I
Yeah,
didn't really get to see that.
come into play.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and I think that's one thing that I that's one thing a lot of people are making that I would consider a mistake is trying to respect brace too much. Like they're gonna brace one of the throws, probably a size 3 or 4. That's fine, because afterwards, like once the first one is gone and the brace has been spent, like you have free reign to just throw the rest of the table at them.
yeah,
And Bill being the only like having the only relevant terrain throw in the game. Uh, I think he's the only one with a terrain throw.
yeah. We had Gamora
Oh,
with the oh, we have Gamora and Groot
the
had
pounce.
throws, but
Yeah, but since like besides Dynamo, it's mostly size twos
yeah,
from Josh's side. I think seeing no terrain thrown by round 4 um, is probably a mistake.
yeah. I think so too. Bill could have got a lot of like free damage Crimson into other characters, especially.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like as soon as you, I try to teach. We try to teach new players to see throws as attacks, just because when you have a character throwing a size 3 terrain, that's 4 damage, which is the equivalent of a 7 die attack.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah.
the average damage of a 7 die attack, but you put the onus on the defending player to roll good blocks, which with dice quality makes it so that blocks are really not as good as attack dice.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I wonder what he's thinking here with Dynamo, just putting him on the back points. So
Oh, not overlapping. Yep. Here we have Star Lord done.
just
Um, yeah, I think we
well,
have
hold on. So
yeah
hold on. What's
Dynamo.
this is the second action. He must not have done well into Star Lord on the roll. So
Oh,
wow,
I think it
big
was
roll.
Dynamo Beam going into both Star Lords and Bill. Bill aggressing back on the point, and here we see Dynamo's making his second
Ooh.
attack into Bill.
Yeah, that was a big hit on Bill. Bill left with 2 health left.
Yeah.
Man,
I think if you're Bill here, you throw that convenience store at Iron Man trying to get the days.
I think you God Hunter Crimson Dynamo or something. Oh no, I can't get the trigger. Well, you won't be able to get the trigger because of Dynamo. Oh man, yeah. See, I don't know what that. I don't know how effective that's gonna be.
I
Um,
don't think throwing Dynamo here was the right call.
so let's. I guess like the only thing I can think is Shane is trying to get a points into a points position where he's how, but it's not gonna. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna
I don't.
work.
I think it's too late to hunt for points at this point, and you just try to leverage attrition. Here, I think we see a spender from Bill into Fury.
Yeah, let's see if he gets this here. He needs 3 damage through, and he.
Oh, 3
Oh,
crits,
it looks like we could get
probably
it.
good showing. Need just one more. He gets it, which
Yeah.
will Snake Fury.
All right. So Bill is out of actions for the round.
Yeah.
So we've got Bucky and Bullseye left. It means that at the best, Josh can prevent the researcher, or sorry, He can tie the researcher with Bucky, but probably, I mean, he might just go for the kills, right?
Yeah, I think I would try to take Bill out with Bullseye.
Yeah,
Like worst case scenario, if you would damage him from the attack and from the I never miss, you can force 2 power out per attack, which is pretty good. Like having your 2 threat tax that 4 threat very effectively is like at this point you want to edge out every little advantages you can get.
yeah. I think that, I mean, like, even just moving Bucky onto, like, the researcher and, I don't know, maybe that's too pointy, but I'm trying to think of like how you play the score. If you wanted to play the score on Josh's side, because he has Iron Man on the Demon Portal and he has Bullseye, he could move to like the other Demon Portal, and you could put Bucky in the middle here. That'd get you 3 to his 2. So you'd be down. And I don't know if I don't know if you play the point game here or you just attack.
Yeah, I think if you're Josh, you're playing you attack and try to go for the kill. I think
Yeah.
Bill's almost dead, and
He's
Star
going into
Lord.
Star Lord though, so Star Lord's going to be taking one.
Yeah, not a fan of going
Plucky.
into Star Lord there. Plucky blocks it. Will Bullseye never miss? I presume so. Um,
Yeah,
but
that
yeah, I
makes
think
it makes the most sense to do that. There's nothing else really to do here. He's injured, so he can't contribute to scoring on the researcher.
do we see him gain 1 power, deal 1? No. All right.
All right.
That
Yeah, that's you have to ask about that one because that's a mandatory power gain, right?
Sarler took the damage, so
Okay,
all
okay. So he
good.
paid for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we see another close whiff.
Yeah. So he paid
Nick
probably paying
Fury.
again. Yeah, there he paid again. That's something that I like to do in the game is that even though you're netting the same amount of power, I like to actually go through the motion of adding the power on bullseye
Yes.
and then subtracting it. It makes for me personally, it just makes like going back into looking into the chat logs in the game history a little just a little better. Like it makes it so that if I have a question, I can be like, oh yeah, there's where Bullseye did the things he needed to do, etc., etc. But I mean, um, it's a little bit of personal preference, a little bit of like OCD, I guess. Bullseye,
Uh,
or sorry, Winter Soldier is contesting the researcher here.
yeah, I think that's the right call. Denying those 2 VPs is pretty big from Josh.
Yeah, it puts it at a
Uh,
tie game, so it means Shane's ability to score out is like basically removed.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think going into next round, I feel Josh is in a very good position to leverage the attrition advantage.
Yeah. All right, Winter Soldier not on the Demon Portal looks like, so no incineration there. We're looking at probably Bill going to be going first here.
Yeah, I think you want to get rid of Nick Fury. Oh, here we have the winging it tokens from
Okay,
Shane.
yeah, there we go.
So here, I think it's a tough decision, but I think you want to go with Bill first because he's so close to dying.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to hope Star Lord can tank a Nick Fury powered up activation, which man, like I've had a Hulk not be able to do that.
Yeah, and I think if you're Josh, you want to. If you're Shane, you want to get rid of Nick Fury as
Yeah,
much as you can. But with both Eye on the Prize and Brace still up, it's going to be a tall ask.
yeah, I agree. It's um man, the outs here are limited.
Yep, they're pretty rough.
Okay, so he's going into Bucky.
Oh,
It's interesting. I mean, my only thought here is that he's one of the few healthy characters remaining. Maybe we've got what is this? What's happening? A
um,
eye on the
try
eye in the sky
to
here.
find. with Sean against I think what's it? What is it? God Hunter, which is would make it a 6-die attack into Bucky. Especially since Bucky had his reroll, I think I would have liked to see him at least get hit once before UI. Um,
Yeah, I like that too because you power up the if he lives, you power up the got your back.
yeah. Um,
So he's doing the summon the storm, maybe? Yeah.
but then I just want to check the wording on Eye on this guy because this, since it's an attack. Um,
I think he just maybe he declared a regular attack and then he moved outside of 2.
yeah. Uh, but I saw him pay power, unless I'm mistaken, twice.
I think he
Um,
refunded it. I see he
yeah, he
paid.
refunded it, right? Yep.
Yeah, so all
Oh,
right.
here we have the hammer really getting Bucky down.
Oh, so the wing
With
in
the,
a tokens is what got him here. I'm seeing. Hold on, I'm seeing like. Yeah, okay. Crit explosion into a wing in it. Got 6 damage. Bucky blocks 4. There you go. We got him exactly. It looks like.
yep. I think if you're
Um.
Shane, you're very happy with that result.
Yeah. You burned the eye in the sky and let's see. He's got. You throw. I don't know. I'm gonna say you throw the building, but it's like doesn't it matter. It doesn't matter. They're gonna brace it. So at this point, it's too late. Like just like I was saying, like you could have been leveraging this extra, basically free attack with the terrain throw, but you haven't been throwing all game, and so there's been no need to play brace.
Yep.
So let's see if he god hunters here. The other option is throw. Basically, you have to, if you're using throw. He's been using throws as displacement tools instead of attrition tools. Which so you're kind of like mixing up the strategy a little too much, right? What Shane's trying to kill your team, but you're just doing displacement with your superpowers.
Yeah, which I think is okay if you're and if you would have been in a higher scoring game, but here with like 5 up to 6 VPs on the board, I think you're in for pretty attrition centric game. I would have liked to see more trank throws be used as damage.
Yeah. You, like as soon as the crises came up, I was like, oh, we're playing 6 rounds.
Yep. And I
So
think
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the
Getting
game.
that. Imagine if he burned that brace at like top of 2, right? Like
Yep.
it would have been
Like just especially with the size 3s relatively central and the size 4 being very close to the midline.
yeah. So Shane made a good positional placement here by putting Bill here. If he survives, it means Crimson Dynamo cannot do the same thing Bill is doing. He's like kind of body blocking the position. And with Crimson Dynamo, of course, being healthy, so he would be able to override Bill's position here. But I think the answer is pretty simple. You just kill Bill, and then that's the problem is gone. So
Yeah.
let's see how Bullseye handles this. He might be able to. Okay, I would go into Bill here, but let's see what happens to Star Lord.
No, I think going into Star Lord to try and take away these activation is really
That's
relevant.
fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Not sure Bullseye is the right call, but it's the one Josh is making. So
Yeah.
here we see Star Lord taking that 1 damage from I Never Miss. Uh, and another attack here, fishing for a spike. If he manages to get him, it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
Showing 2.
Oh, blocked.
Star Lord also showing 2. Will he force him to pay 1 power? No. It's going to take just the 1. Gains his power, and he is likely done.
Ooh, man. It would have been it would have been much like it would have been pretty interesting if Bullseye left him on 1, right? You attack Bullseye and you don't kill him. Star Lord just dies. But
Also, he has to be cautious here because he's still bleeding.
yeah. So
If
you're
you
right.
get
Yeah,
hit with parting shot puts you in a dangerous position.
yeah, for sure. The other interesting thing too here is that um, if if either of the Star-Lord or Crimson Dynamo do not get dazed in this round here, it means that no matter what, neither team can lose via tabling because they'll have a healthy character going into the final round of the game, assuming they don't end up tied and having to go an extra round. But we've got Star-Lord into Bullseye, and that's a straight-up dead Bullseye. One-shot him.
Yeah,
He
I
paid
think
for
it's
a hit and run. It looks, or no, he paid for a spender hit and run. I think did he have 5 power? I think he did.
look like yes, he had
So
five.
he's gonna get a free. He's gonna. It looks like he might opt for violence. And just oh yeah, never mind. I thought he would bleed out, but he's not gonna bleed out. So it looks like he's going to try to avoid cover
I
with the
don't
hit and
think.
run. What do you think about the target of Iron Man?
I like it, but I think uh, you're too far off here to
Ooh,
be relevant. You can't really deny the cover. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be dicey, but he still has his winging it token.
okay.
3 dice cover DR is still rough to get
Yeah,
through
he
here.
is Iron Man is only rolling 2 dice, all right? So he's got 5 dice, 2 rerolls into two
Yep.
dice with cover. Like this is a totally possible kill on Iron Man here.
Yep. See here, it's pretty cold dice
Ooh.
from Star Lord.
That was a good defensive roll for because he has got cover. So I
Yeah,
think at 3 successes, ouch, that's a um
yeah. So you're
you're
dealing a maximum of 1 to
yeah.
Iron Man through wing it, which is not something you want.
Yeah, there we go. That was a big block for Iron Man. He's living. I mean, you might as like do you so he's not even gonna wing in it because he doesn't want to put Iron Man in a spot where or did he wing in it?
No, I
No,
think I wouldn't, just because Iron Man being on 1 power also means he
yeah,
can't
exactly.
Friday AI
Yeah.
or homing rockets. Because with the 1 damage, I think Iron Man
Homing rockets would have been hilarious. Yeah. Double kill or
on
something.
Bullseye to daze both, I think would have been really interesting.
Okay.
Uh,
Another thing here is that grunts are always either healthy or not, or they don't exist. All right. So if he puts the grunts down on the researcher, he can contest it with Starlord, and no one scores the point.
Here, I think we see a lead from. Are we seeing a lead from the front? No, I think that's just probably tactical knife or Fury special going into what looks like Star Lord. Try to get the daze. Uh, yep, that looks like a dazed Star Lord.
Yeah.
Not much we can do. Which means either Iron Man or Dynamo is going to claim that portal for shield.
Yeah. So you're thinking Dynamo just does a spender oh no, actually no, it doesn't matter really.
Yeah, I think here with Iron Man, you just try to kill Dynamo.
Yeah,
Kill.
it's free. Oh, here we go. He's putting the grunts down. So, oh, look at this. See, it's pretty clear to me that Josh doesn't know the grunts can contest the researcher,
Yeah,
because oh, I guess like hold on. Yeah, because the grunts would win it in this situation.
yes, because they're healthy and there's only an injured character on it. I think here we see Iron Man going into Bill, fishing for that KO. 2 is not too bad. Showing 2 blocks already from Dynamo. I think though he's probably backstopped by Star Lord, not being able to be pushed away from the research. Second shot. Here we have an equally good block from Bill, but Iron Man dealing 2, so netting 1 probably on Bill. Uh, 1 power on Iron Man.
All right, so Bill, I don't know. Is there a reason to aggressive with Bill here?
I don't think so. I think uh, you can't really effectively body block anyone, and if you're Dynamo, you can still like leap and try to
Okay, so
run it.
he's trying to just win the researcher here. And Shane's gonna Shane's gonna win the researcher or die trying.
I think he even ties it with Fury, so I think here if you're Dynamo, you just leap forward and try to deal that one last point of damage to Bill. Dynamo's homing rockets would also have been really funny into Bill to try and take away Star Lord.
Yeah.
Double beauty.
Oh well, Bill just goes, I think.
That's a dub, Bill.
Yeah, Bill's dead. All right. Okay, so then I don't know. Yeah, so like this at this point it's like not winnable at all for Shane, I think.
Yeah, I think we might see a concession at this point.
Yeah, let's see if they decide to roll it out. We're going to be scoring 4 for. Yeah, it's literally unwinnable at this point for Shane. Unless, of course, Josh could just say like just move all his characters off of secures and all that, but uh,
Even then, if he scores 4-0,
oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay,
Star-Lord can only score 3, and
let's
Dynamo's out.
let's jump into their chat and we'll ask them about the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, you just did. Hello, hello.
Hey
Hello,
guys,
gentlemen.
thanks for letting us stream the game. It was a pretty exciting death match with the crises that came up.
Mm-hmm.
What did
would have been a lot cooler if I didn't forget my winging it tokens every turn.
Yeah, Shane, what did you think? What did you think? Were there any plays that that come to mind when you think back on this game?
Yeah, so the first thing was I had set Ghost Rider up so that when Winter Soldier did anything, if he rolled one crit, he would have been dazed, and I just got out of my own head and forgot to daze him. So then he was able to heal him.
Yeah,
And that was, to me, the biggest one. You know, the dice are the dice. They're going to be, Dynamo had a couple of beams where he hit a bunch of threes and stuff where maybe if I had my winging it tokens, I could shed off a couple of damage here and there.
Yeah.
But the big thing was not killing Winter Soldier there. I had a couple of spots to use recal where I debated it, and then it ended up there at the end of the game. So obviously, I didn't make the right decision there, and that was pretty big.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on bringing Brace because it was a dead card for you? What about did you have Deal with the Devil in your list?
I do. And I don't know, my normal shield guy, yeah, he's got Venom. The guy I normally play at my local shop who plays shield brings Agent Venom all the time.
Right.
And so it's never a dead card for me against shield.
Totally fair.
So
I only bring my Agent Venom against lists I want to chase, and I don't expect to have to chase Guardians. So, yeah.
No, but
that's
I mean,
a valid point. Valid point, though.
He's very good against Guardians, right? Because I can't re-roll into him if I happen to remember to take my winging it tokens. So if you remember that, then he's very good because you just can't do your defensive stuff.
Josh, did you have any thoughts or any activations that are on top of your mind right now?
I mean, yeah, like the big Dynamo beams really they put in a lot of value this game, right? And it's kind of hard to recover from that much damage coming out. And like in a game that was all about attrition, which this game was, right? Like it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always going to be, right? But yeah, just in that kind of a slugfest, getting that much damage out. And it was frustrated me how many times I went into Groot and could not finish him for so long. And I was like, I need to get him dead so he doesn't heal. He would live and heal. Dang it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was trying
That's kind of his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, he healed for 9 or 11 that game, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Plus another 2 on
Bill.
On Bill. So,
Yeah, I think he healed himself for 11 plus Bill for 2. yeah, that's a pretty good job of undoing all that work I did.
Josh, there was
Yeah.
one thing that that we noticed that I don't know if you know, but the grunts do contest the researcher. So you
Oh,
place the grunts outside of one. In this case, like assuming Bill lives, if you had the grunts within one of the researcher, you would have won it. It's because they can't contest secures, but the researcher is an extract, so they can still contest the researcher. It's a little interesting tidbit,
yeah,
but it might help you
yeah.
in future games.
No, I totally get it. I actually wasn't sure, and I double checked it, and unfortunately, I missed the word contest and just read it as this character cannot secure objective tokens. Unfortunately, secure is both a noun and a verb in this game, and that's very frustrating. But yes, I get that now. That makes perfect sense once you see the word contest in the sentence. So yeah, I would have done that a while back. In fact, I would have called in the cavalry before then, but I had an opportunity earlier to call the cavalry in, and I was like, do I bring these guys back in for more damage, or do I keep I up? I think I is going to do more work for me, so I chose to keep I. But yeah, had I known that they could have contested the researcher earlier, that would have been helpful in shoring up the VP game earlier, because it took me a little bit to catch up. But I mean, that's what Shield does.
Yep. Uh, I wanted to ask both players, probably starting with Shane, what was the rationale behind your squad composition for this game?
I just wanted the toughest people that I could jam down the throat, and that's kind of the toughest people I could jam down the throat. I think my Ghost Rider was played a little bit too far back. I should have played him a little bit more forward. And I think, looking back, maybe Groot should have rooted onto Dynamo. But I was able to get my stuff rolling. I just, lost the bucket of dice game. I knew it was going to be Shield versus Guardians on Demon Researcher. It's just going to be a bucket of dice, and there's going to be some micro plays. And I got outplayed on the micro plays, and my bucket of dice didn't do better.
Yeah, I think we saw Dynamo's Disruption Field doing a lot of heavy lifting this game, and showing why he's the uncontested king of E-shapes.
Honestly, I think the only one that was a really big deal was when Gamora had the two wilds when she went into Bucky, and it took from days to only doing 1 damage or something like that, or maybe even 0 damage. I forget. And I think that was the real big one. The rest of the time, like, I played around it, and he made my dice a little bit worse. But that to me was the big moment where Dynamo really saved somebody's life without thinking about it.
We were talking about it on stream. I think, especially, I don't know how familiar you are with the attack sequence, but Gamora gets to switch her dice before Dynamo gets the reroll her wilds.
Yeah, he did it.
Right, I did it, but he got the pierce away, which
From the spender, which is really, really big.
So the pierce also, you still get the effect of the pierce, right? Because you're modifying your his defense dice, and then Crimson Dynamo gets to modify your attack dice. So you still get the benefit of the pierce. I don't know if you must have missed that.
We missed that one, but that's fine. It did. The reroll came out into nothing anyway, so he lived on 1, so I guess it may have made a difference, but it's just like that to me was the only attack though that I saw that it really played a big deal in. The rest of the time it was like, all right, you saved a little chip damage here or there, which adds up over the course of the game, but it wasn't.
This was the sequence with the sacrifice play. Is that correct?
Yeah, before the sacrifice, because he let me go into Bucky, and then I went into the Howling Commandos, and he sacrificed onto Dynamo.
Yeah, this was it was a very complicated activation, and so we were talking about it on the stream, and we're just like we knew a lot of things happened, and we didn't want to jump in if we were unsure that there was a call to be made. But it was there was a lot going on that turn.
We were trying our best to tab everything out with that, because there was a lot of this person's attacking this person now this way. Okay, now it's Bucky's turn to
psych.
Bucky whiffed. He did a lot of work, but man, his got your backs were not there tonight. They were not putting in a lot of work.
Shane, I got a question here brought up in our chat. We were talking about the throwing terrain or anything like that. Bill didn't do any sort of throws. You opted to use your throws to displace the characters rather than do the damage. What were you thinking about that at all? Or I know you displaced Iron Man early in the game when you could have maybe thrown terrain at him. Were you like trying to avoid getting Helios early, or like what were your thoughts on displacement versus terrain?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Helios would eventually come in, and I tried to manufacture it where he couldn't get it, and I didn't get that. You know, Gamora maybe had a decent shot there at getting him, and I just flubbed it. But I was just trying to keep Iron Man out of the game, and there were a couple turns where I didn't throw. I think there was maybe one, maybe two turns where I didn't throw, and I felt like Bill just needed the power because the damage spikes were just constantly rolling in. You know, this list, that's what it does, right? That's what the shield list does. It throws a whole bunch of buckets of 4 dice at you, and you've got to weather them. And I felt like Bill needed that power to constantly weather them.
Yeah.
I've gotten into positions in the past where Bill uses the throw, has 1 power, 0 power, and then like I'm going to take 1 damage, and I'm like, oh, do I spend it here? If I spend it, then I can't block power on the next one, and it ends up falling into like this weird sequence where I just never have the power to blow on defense.
Vodka Blitz, do you have any other questions for the players?
No, I think we got a pretty good summary of that game. Well, I want to thank you both for letting us stream this. Lucas for letting me be his co-commentator tonight. Thanks to everyone also watching at home.
Yeah, thanks for letting us stream it. You guys are both have only 1 loss in the league at this point, so you're both still in the running for top cut. So good luck in the rest of your games, and I would love to stream your games next week if the timing works out. So thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks
Everybody.
Thanks for streaming it, and thanks for playing.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Good luck for the rest of your run.